Hi, and welcome to another exciting pirate news. Happy Father's Day from the bottom of our piratey hearts. With me today is just Malt and me, but hopefully that's all you need.
I
Uh,
mean, I think I alone at least am worth a person and a half. And you, I know you've also got a fairly large personality, even if you're hiding it behind that mysterious letter.
I just don't want you to see the unbelievable mess because I have been working like crazy lately out there in the field. Um,
I am
well,
also quite sweaty.
oh man, it's been scorcher out there, and
Mm.
I've just had the fortune of having it be busy for me, being in the logistics field. Uh, Absolutely insane out there. But we just had a couple quick topics we wanted to go over with you and wish you well on your Father's Day. And so there's a little bit of news happening with breathalyzers now. I guess that most DAs are throwing them out um, because it turns out that breathalyzers aren't reliable in judging how drunk you are. So there is that. A lot of the evidence they're saying, oh, well, the evidence before was reliable, but honestly, it's not really reliable per se.
And it's important to keep in mind that breathalyzers have basically been accepted pseudoscience for the better part of 30, 40 years, at least, maybe even 50 years at this point. And now finally the legal system is admitting that they're pseudoscientific unreliable nonsense. Keep that in mind when they start talking about instant cannabis intoxication tests or mouth swabs for THC, because it's gonna be the same does not work bullshit. It's going to
Yeah,
be an unscrupulous laboratory is going to figure out the cheapest, easiest, THC thing test that they can replicate, and they're going to stick it on a swab, and they're not going to test it. They're not going to examine how the presence of THC actually impacts the person who's used it, and they're going to claim that it is gospel truth, and it's just not going to be.
yeah. The problem with cannabis is like when I obviously use it from time to time, and especially at the end of the day after I've had a long, hard day of brutalizing work, and I need to just relax.
You
It's
need
a
a
perfect.
non-narcotic pain assistant.
Well, it's not just that, it also gets my appetite going so I can keep my weight up, so that way I can keep doing what I do. And it's just hard to find a dietary supplement that makes me want to eat a whole pot of mac and cheese to my
I've,
face, or a
I
box or
actually
two.
have a supplement that might work. Have you ever tried Ghee?
I've never even heard of it, but
It's
I'm.
it's clarified butter. So technically, I think it's vegan or at least vegetarian. No, it's lactose free. And it's very popular in Indian cuisine, and it's delicious and shelf stable at room temperature. Um, and it's just the greatest butter sensation in your mouth. And man, I'm telling you, if that doesn't stoke your appetite, I don't know what will.
I mean, I've honestly made a lot of weed butter in my time. Real trick to it is just you get the pot just simmering, so the little itty bitty bubbles. Then you throw your weed in, let it cook for about an hour, strain the weed out, and then all the THC goes into your butter. And you can make some of the most delicious brownies you've ever had. You want to use butter too. You need the fat content there.
Hmm.
Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Ask your
Um,
parents for permission, kids, before making edibles. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about something kind of ridiculous that's been going on for a while. So, a lot of you might know I am a former writer for Something Awful. I ended my career somewhat ignominiously, um, but I'm still an active member of the community, more or less, and in touch with what's going on. Um, related to Something Awful, there are these two members, Brown Moses and Robert Evans, who are both fairly substantial writers. Robert Evans is the one of the editors for Cracked.com. He handles the personal experience stories. Brown Moses, Robert Evans and Brown Moses also run and work on this website Bellingcat, which is an open source intelligence group that has done a lot of research into the Novichok tear gas attacks in London. They've also done some less good research. They were kind of like they were pretty pro coup in Bolivia, which is skeptical. And I just found out Bellingcat is receiving funds through a group called the Endowment for Democracy, which is a CIA front group that supports regime change in countries that America disagrees with. Like that's not even a euphemism for what that is. So this means a lot of their research is now suspect, and the connection to Something Awful. I mentioned they're both members of Something Awful, that they were also using Something Awful as a front to disseminate Russian or anti-Russian pro-CIA propaganda. Because, like, Jesus Christ, fuck my ass. But apparently, the debate and discussion political forums on Something Awful are actually a fairly significant hotbed of leftist activity online. Fucking what? Like this is the same website that picked a fight with a web ring of mourning mothers of stillborn infants.
What?
Oh man, Something Awful has been around for a while.
And this was Endowment for Democracy?
Yes, the Endowment for Democracy. In the 60s, the CIA figured out that it was bad optics if they deliberately funded these puppet groups. So instead, they set up a bunch of shell organizations that they give money to, that then gives money to the people doing the work. And frankly, like I'm out here doing the same shit. Why am I not on a CIA payroll? Like, come on, State Department. Like there is Pokemon erotica on the front page of Something Awful that I put there as an act of protest and has been there for 11 months. I fucking get results. Like, motherfuckers just don't believe me.
Speaking of other awful things, what's going on with the BlackRock Capital?
Oh, I think we covered this last week, but BlackRock is an investing firm that uses housing and urban development dollars to buy up whole subdivisions of starter homes to turn them into rental homes. And the issue with this is that house equity is basically the only financial investor vehicle that poor and working class people can ever access. So we are basically just like increasing the height of the financial fence that keeps people trapped in poverty. It's bad shit.
It's just getting worse and worse.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of getting worse and worse, I'm sweaty as all hell. This library is an oven.
And
did we have anything else we wanted to talk about this week?
I just said, honestly, it's Father's Day. We love you out there, especially you watching in on us. And we know that it's a day. We're just glad that you were able to join us. Definitely like, share, and subscribe. And we'll just keep this going, and we'll see you next week.
Happy Father's Day to everyone who does not identify as male, and also happy Father's Day to the moms that are doing double duty, either because they're single or in because they're in like crappy one-sided relationships.
Yes, happy Father's Day to all those even those who are not fathers but are still playing it. So,
And especially happy Father's Day to hot anime dads.
and on that note, have a great night.
Goodbye.
Ended it on that.